Hey guys, it's the Arachnoholic back again with a new video. Today, I'm going to be doing an unboxing video on two mature male, actually, Venezuelan Suntigers. That is, of course, the Suntigers Armenia, for those of you who prefer your Latin names. So we're going to be doing a little breeding project with one of our females here over the next couple of days, probably by next weekend, roughly, is when the initial pairing will take place. But the gentleman that I ordered these from was kind enough to provide me with a backup male in case something happens to this guy here, which is awesome, by the way. Alright, so I got the lid off. He definitely packaged this thing very securely, which is what I like to see. Oh shit, there he is. You can see his fuzzy little legs on the bottom side of this paper towel. Alright, so let's see, how should we do this? Was really not expecting that. Good thing I've got my tongs here. Oh, and before we get started, let's go over our quick list of tools that we'll need for this. So we've got, of course, the catch cup. The lid is off, but I have it right here. Always want to keep a catch cup anytime you are rehousing a tarantula or even doing any sort of maintenance in its enclosure, really, especially when it comes to a fast-moving, high-strung species such as this. Now, your Suntigers, the thing about them is, along with the entire Suntigers genus as a whole, is they are New Worlds due to their geographic location. They are found throughout Central and South America. However, their appearance as well as their behavior parallels that of an Old World tarantula a lot more so than it does your typical New World. They also, on top of that, lack the urticating bristles on their bodies that New World species flick at any would-be attackers. Of course, these hairs can get anchored in the skin, the eyes, the nasal passages, and cause all kinds of itchiness, swelling, really unpleasant symptoms, and is a good way to dissuade a predator from trying to eat the spider. But Old World species, as well as a handful of New Worlds, such as the Suntigers, they do not possess these particular hairs. They are an exception to that general rule. They also are lightning fast, pretty spunky, especially the Suntiger. So they are much more likely to bite or try to flee. And like I said, they're crazy, crazy fast. They are definitely teleporters. And their venom is a bit more on the powerful side. It is considered medically significant. The research is kind of hit or miss with a lot of tarantula venom, and this species is really no exception. We do know that they are a good deal more powerful and packs more of a punch than the majority of New World tarantulas. However, it is at least believed by the majority that their venom is at least slightly less toxic than a lot of Old World species, so not quite as bad as like a Poecilotheria bite or your HMAC, your OBT, any of those. But, you know, it could definitely still earn you a trip to the ER, especially if you were to have a particularly bad reaction to it. So, always good to err on the side of caution. Of course, we have the forceps, like I showed earlier, but also we have a handy-dandy paintbrush that we can use to coax him out. A lot of times, your spiders tend to respond better to the touch of a paintbrush rather than something solid metal like this. So that's the theory that we're keeping in mind when using this approach. So the best way to probably do this, there's a couple of different ways I could do this. Normally I would do this in my bathtub because there's a bit more open space, but I feel confident enough to do it here that this is going to work. And I do apologize if I have to cut a few times in this video, guys. So my camera lady is actually out tonight. Therefore, this is going to be a solo operation this time around, and I'm pretty much having to juggle the catch cup, the forceps, the paintbrush, all that stuff, and the camera as well in just 2 hands. So I do apologize for that, but gotta do what you gotta do. So as you can see, he's pretty petite, and this is often the case with Psalmopius tarantulas. The males tend to mature at a very small size. Even the Cambridgei, I had a male Cambridgei that a few months ago molted out into a mature male. He was maybe all of 4.5 inches, which is roughly around the same size as this guy here. You can see how fluffy he is. Male Suntigers are extremely fuzzy. They also lose the tiger striping on their abdomens. As you can see, he's still got the orange lightning bolt looking markings on his legs, on his femurs there. Alright, so I guess that works. So the little piece of paper towel here actually slid out of the catch cup and into the new enclosure with the spider still attached to it. Thankfully, doesn't look like he took any damage. I don't see any hemolymph, aka tarantula blood. Actually, looked like a smooth landing. He didn't bump anything hard. So at least that's one less thing to worry about, because that would have been very tragic and heartbreaking. Just gotta get this paper towel out of here now. And hope that he doesn't decide to bolt in the process. There we go. So it looks like we got another upside down one here. You can see the gorgeous, gorgeous markings that he's got on his legs. It's interesting, this male actually seems a little bit more vibrant than the first one. Like he's still retained some of his juvenile or immature, I guess you would call it, coloration. Very beautiful though. Hopefully he's as cooperative as his brother there. All right, success. This guy's got a little bit more of a leg span than the other one. Probably a little closer to the 4.5 inch mark. Almost 5 inches. What I've done here is I've drilled some holes in the bottom of this deli cup. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna flip it upside down. Thankfully, the size and dimensions of the deli cup as well as the lid on this container here are an exact match. So we can just flip this upside down. There's a little hole in the bottom. I'm gonna stick this paintbrush through that hole and gently try to coax them out once I've flipped over the container and removed the lid. Success so far. So I'm just gonna gently brush his back leg with the paintbrush here and try to coax him out. We don't want to be poking and prodding him too much, especially considering he's been through it as it is, so we don't want to stress him any more than he already has been. Come on, buddy. Obviously, I'm using minimal pressure here. I don't want to hurt him or damage him in any way. There we go. There's that handsome devil. Right, now just go down another inch or so, and then we'll be good to go. I can safely remove this and put the lid on his new enclosure. Alright, and it looks like male number 1 is doing just fine. I was a little worried after he had his little fall there, but he doesn't appear to be hurt or bleeding at all. He is climbing up his cork bark here and exploring his new home already, which is a great sign. So, good thing about arboreal tarantulas is that while you do still want to handle them carefully, and if you do handle yours, which I don't advise handling this species, but if you were to handle, say, some type of avicularia or pink-toed tarantula species, you still want to use the same rules and guidelines that you would use when handling any species of tarantula, which are keep it short and limited to only a few minutes. Don't ever pin the spider down or make it feel like it can't escape, because it can and will act aggressively to defend itself. I say it will act aggressively because spiders are not aggressive by nature. They do not go out and willingly hunt, attack, or bite humans, given that we are predators to them and are several times their size. So if they do behave in any sort of an aggressive demeanor, it is purely out of defense and fear for their own safety and well-being. But like I was saying, with any tarantula, even a docile one, if you pin it down, it's most likely going to bite you in an attempt to try and escape and save its own life. So definitely err on the side of caution with that. You still want to handle them low to the ground, because a fall of several feet could still injure a tarantula, even one like this that is designed to take a fall, being that they have a much lighter build and more lanky legs. That is kind of what arboreal tarantulas are anatomically designed for. In fact, in the wild, often they will jump off of a tree branch or a leaf in order to escape danger. The difference is that in the wild, they are expecting another leaf or tree branch to be just a couple of inches or maybe a foot at most below the one that they're jumping off of, which is not going to be the case when you're in a home in captivity. Now, like I was saying, the markings are quite different on the mature male Suntigers when compared to the immature males or the females. This is a sexually dimorphic species, meaning that males and females have distinct markings and appearances that separate them from one another. Males and females do look pretty much identical up until the male has his ultimate molt, which is when he develops his reproductive organs that he carries his sperm in, at which point his colors do change quite a bit. He retains the orange on the tarses, like I said earlier. However, the tiger pattern on the abdomen is almost completely gone. All right. So we'll give him some time to explore his new home. Beautiful. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off right here. Wish me luck on this pairing. I am super excited. Teensy bit nervous, but mostly excited. Should be a fun species to breed. Cool thing about the P. erminia, or the Venezuelan sun tiger, is that they have a tendency to double clutch, meaning they will lay 2 egg sacs oftentimes. And each of those can contain roughly 300, 400 spiderlings. Of course, erminias are a somewhat smaller species, so there could always be fewer than that. Could be, 50 to 100, 150. But even that would still be really awesome. Anyway, if you liked this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out that Patreon. I'll post a link in the description below. You'll find some exclusive content there. I know I haven't been keeping up with as much lately, guys, but it's been a little bit chaotic on my end, and I've also been busy with some other content creation not related to my tarantulas. So I do apologize for the gaps in videos. But I'm going to make sure to give that Patreon some more TLC. So head on over there. Your support means a lot. And until then, like we say here every day at the Arachnoholic, stay awesome.